The fact that the case is 26 years old, and the fact that this Sharon Hammack, a person who we got to see in one of her worst ways ever, who really looked to be a beautiful person. We hear the evidence from a scientific approach connecting you with her at a time where an unfathomable acts of violence rose to the level of costing her her life. Now, Dr. Cole indicated she didn't do that to herself. And while there can be contrasting evidence as to who did it, it puts you foremost in the position with everything that's been presented. Does that prove it beyond a reasonable doubt? That's not the role today. But the science in the making puts you foremost in the position. And I understand the argument the defense makes about the criminal sexual conduct first degree, and it may prove that your semen was on this. Do we know that you're the one that hog-tied her? Do we know that you're the one that hurt her? Do we know that you're the one that tied her up? That's what the prosecution has to prove. Circumstantially, because the direct evidence, albeit not talking about the semen, the direct evidence with the murder, the ligature strangulation, as Dr. Cole indicated, the cause of death that he referred to was asphyxia by ligature strangulation. Sickening to have to see those photographs. Heartbreaking beyond compare. And we're not even the family of Sharon Hammack. The majority of us don't know her at all, never met her, didn't know her. And while we talk about her being a prostitute, there can be a big argument made for her being prostituted. That she was prostituted. And we want to label somebody like somehow they're not at the same level of someone else. And Mr. Kirsty, you labeled her as a sex worker. Choice or not, whatever her life was, I don't know. I don't know her, I don't know her family, I don't know anything about it. But I just think that it's nothing short of a miracle that 26 years later, we're here talking about the case that was the end of Sharon Hammack's life. Because for 26 years, her voice has been completely silenced. And I'm not here making a decision. Did you for sure do it? I'm making a decision as to the evidence that's been presented. Does it rise to the level of probable cause to believe that there were crimes occurred, and that there's probable cause to believe you committed the offenses? And as far as the open murder, the felony murder, which is directly connected to the criminal sexual conduct in the first degree, I am not of the belief that she had any part in having this happen. In fact, even from the testimony of Dr. Cole, it appears that she fought, and she lost the fight, and she lost her life. And no one ever should have to go through what she went through. Separate and apart from that obvious, and everything that you can feel about hearing a case like this, that doesn't come into play when we're talking about the legal issues. And I don't know if there are any family members of Sharon Hammack that are around, or still friends or families that are connected to her. Okay, good. I'm sorry for what you've had to go through. But her voice is being heard. and because of all of the people involved in this, I make the decision based on the legal aspect of this case. Just think of when we heard the testimony when this happened, the truckers that were delivering the furniture to Battle Creek, they didn't even have a cell phone to make a call. So one of them stayed, guarded the scene. The other man left to make a phone call to 911. Obviously, people that come by are going to stop and say what's going on, like a car accident or something else. Passers-by stop and want to see what's going on. I said to them, they're good Samaritans. They're people that would stop, where a lot of people never would stop. They just keep on going. The detectives that are involved, that weren't even hired with the sheriff's department at the time, assigned a case recently. They're on it. They're studying stuff from way back. But they are aided with this science in the making. They're aided in testing that can be done through DNA that years back we never knew of. I make my decision based on the evidence that's presented in this case, and I bind you over, Mr. Garry Artman, on all 3 life felony charges: open murder, felony murder, criminal sexual conduct in the 1st degree. While it is profound to listen to a case like this, way more profound to be connected to this person, Sharon Hammack. My focus is not deciding guilt or innocence today, but yes, I believe, without any doubt in my mind, crimes occurred, and I'm binding over with the decision that it rises to the level of probable cause to believe that Mr. Garry Artman is the one that committed the offenses.